Most importantly, he is a global influencing pet parent on a mission to improve animal health and well-being. Such an honor to have you on the show. Rodney Habib, welcome to One Life Radio.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. I mean, you heard, I don't know if you heard the opening, but I have rescued so many dogs and cats over my life. I absolutely love animals. I'm up at night worrying about their well-being worldwide, and it's such an honor to speak with you. It really is.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a great time to be a pet parent today. There's so much information, so many good things coming our way. And it definitely is. There's so many convoluted messages out there today, but it is absolutely an incredible time, again, like I said, to be a pet owner and hopefully extend the longevity and the well-being of our pets to be with us for a very long time.
Absolutely. And, I watched your TED Talk like 3 times. I was taking notes the whole time. There's so much good information in there, how to build a forever dog. But I want to go here first. How long does the typical dog live for?
Yeah, not long enough. The sad reality is that's exactly what keeps me up at night as well. I mean, you were just mentioning how you're up at night. It's too bad that these dogs can't be with us for all of time. But, of course, the scientific theory, though, to your question, is probably 11. If you were to take all the data worldwide, it would be 11 years of age.
Wow. So I'm doing good with Mick. My oldest one, Mick, is around 15 years old, and he's still going strong, I have to say. I think he'll live a lot longer.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, and, to answer that question, if you were to talk to your neighbor, if you were to talk to your friend or whoever it is on a bus stop somewhere, 11 does seem like the typical age. It's not shocking when you talk to somebody and they say, hey, you know what, my dog lived to be 11 or 12. And they'd be like, oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, if you were a neighbor of, let's say, Brian McLaren, who just raised a 30-year-old dog that just passed away a few years ago, all of a sudden 11 or 15 doesn't really seem like that great an age gap.
Yeah.
And so we know today that there's a lot of dogs out there that are living into their 20s and, like the dog in Australia, into their 30s.
Well, and then in the video you featured a dog, which is the oldest living, the oldest dog living today is a 22-year-old pit bull named Tigger. I love it. It was so cute. And so that's amazing, really.
It is. Tigger, and there's so many wonderful stories out there. When I was interviewing Tigger's mom, Julie Moore, she had no idea. Like I said, she was raising the 10th oldest dog in the world. And that's how many, as science calls them, outliers that there are there today. I know there's a 24-year-old dog right now, a golden retriever out of Ireland, they say. These dogs are just popping out of the woodworks. And so, it's incredible to be able to sit down with these people and collect as much data as possible to find that common through line throughout these dogs.
Well, your TED Talk was full of some of the best information I think I've ever seen on owning a pet, particularly dogs. Can we talk about the top 5 longevity checklist that you talked about in the TED Talk?
Yeah, the checklist was, of course, years and years of collecting data. I spent the last 2 years of my life filming it's called the Dog Cancer Series, the epidemic right now that's happening in dogs. We know that dogs get the most cancer out of any species in the world. But sitting with these scientists, of course, there was those commonalities between longevity and cancer. And so when we narrowed it down and speaking with all the scientists, and of course scientists don't agree on absolutely everything, these 5, I feel that if you sat down with any scientist, it would be the most agreed upon. And of course, the first one is stress resistance. And stress is huge today.
Yeah, that study of the Italian scientist that put the dog in the room with the fear sweat, and then it's like basically the happy sweat and the fear sweat. It was astounding, the reaction in the animal.
Yeah, that study, when it was released about a year and a half ago now, it went viral all over the internet. I remember Scientific America, they literally broke their website. It was one of the most popular studies to come out. We've known for a very long time that people used to say in the olden days, your dog can sense if you're afraid of it. And well, we know now for a fact, according to science, that your dog can actually smell your fear, smell your emotions. Dr. Biagio Daniello and his team out of Naples right now are studying even more emotions, but it's very evident that your dog can smell how not only your feeling at that moment, but how your day went. So your sweat absorbs into your clothes. And so you could be coming home after being completely over a situation, but your dog can smell that, pick up on that. And now science says your dog can actually adapt into that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, I couldn't help but making the comparison of the 5 longevity checklist to what we as humans need as well. I mean, they're almost identical, right?
Absolutely. I mean, metabolically speaking, physiology, you name it, nutrition, cognitive function, the similarities between man and dog are almost identical. We have the same cells. The cells respire. They have mitochondria. They have DNA. So this checklist is almost identical. In fact, even in cancer research today, if you were to cut a tumor out of a human and out of a dog and put them under a microscope, not even the top oncologists in the world could determine which came from which. So we have a lot of similarities. And so, yes, if you follow this checklist for humans, you would be doing a very good thing for yourself as well.
There's so many things I want to ask you. I can't even pick. I mean, there's just so many that are going through my head. I want to talk about blueberries. I want to talk about green beans. I want to talk about calorie restriction. Which one do you want to talk about?
Well, you know what? Caloric restriction is massive. That's number 2 on that longevity list. Caloric restriction right now, it's so fascinating. You're seeing all of these people in blue zones, the Sardinians right now that are living into well over 100 years, the world, they say the world with the most centurions. How are a lot of these people achieving these long lives? Now, we know it's very multifactorial. It's not just one thing. But something that seems to be huge amongst all of these cultures is caloric restriction. The less you eat, the longer you live. This is a very fascinating field of science right now. One of my favorite takes on it, I was just in LA sitting down with Dr. Gundry.
Oh, I know him.
We were talking, great guy. We were talking about lectins because there's a huge issue right now going on in pet food and DCM. And so when Dr. Stephen Gundry and I were talking, he said something so fascinating to me. He said, people and dogs and cats, we all have a fixed amount of calories in our lifetime. And when you reach that limit, well, you're dead. And so you have 2 ways of achieving that. You can use them very quickly. You can consume all those calories very fast in your lifetime, or you can spread them out and try to live a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting. And so I want to ask you this, because as I was preparing to come to work this morning, and my animals are all around me, and I was, singing to Brad and Jeff. Let me ask you this. Do you sing to your dog?
Oh,
Dogs?
Man, absolutely. You should see, you know what? It sounds crazy, but you should see the science behind that. There was a study that came out, so if whoever's listening and you just Google Frontiers in Veterinary Science, it's called Demographic Changes Across the Lifespan of Dogs. Within that body of that study, it showed that people who sang to their dogs, people who interacted with their dogs, played with their dogs, it actually could increase longevity, believe it or not.
Wow. Well, so I'm going to sing my little song that I sing to Brad and Jeff. I tell them, Brad and Jeff, Jeff and Brad, 2 American dogs doing the best they can. And I sing it to them when I put them in when I put them in the kennel for the day, and it makes them happy. It makes me happy. And I think it's so silly, but apparently I'm doing something that's very normal, right?
Absolutely. Social interactions. Your dog can actually, again, going back to the study, your dog can actually smell your happiness. And the last thing that we want dogs to do is to be stressed out all the time, because we know without the shadow of a doubt that stress can not only shorten your lifespan, but it can also increase your rate of getting cancer. And there's studies out there that can show that stress can actually even grow tumors on dogs. So being happy and being energetically sort of in a great mind state is not only awesome for you, but for your pet.
Yeah. Your TED Talk is amazing. I think the thing that really struck me, you're welcome. The thing that really struck me the strongest was how important the food is. And you talk about all the starch that is in all of the kibbles that 99% of dogs in this planet, that's what they eat. And that goes for cats too. And how damaging it is to them.
Yeah, this is a huge shocker to a lot of pet parents, because this is the number 1 macronutrient that's fueling your animal. So we know you can fuel yourself off of protein, not a great energy source. It's a building block. You can fuel yourself off fat, which there's so much science now saying that could be your best chance of living a long time. But carbohydrates, and in particular high starchy carbohydrates, they don't have to be listed on the label. And so these foods, all of these foods, need to stick like a cookie. And if you're buying those pellets that come in a bag, odds are those are made up of at least 50% of these high sugar, starchy compounds. And the problem is is when your blood sugars start to elevate and spike on these high starchy foods, well, your body's releasing a ton of insulin. And if you're spitting out a ton of insulin, research will tell you you're doing a lot of cell replicating. So whether you're cell replicating a cancer cell, which could be growing a tumor, or if you're just dividing a healthy cell, that's called aging. And what we don't want in our bodies is to have a chronic load of insulin, because we know that insulin is very inflammatory and it can also age you fast.
Well, you know, I've got Shawn Wells in studio, and he's very big into the ketogenic diet. We've talked about keto for pets before. What about the ketogenic diet for pets? Because you made the association with cancer. Cancer carbs, it seems to be the human thing, too. The more carbs you eat, the more chances you have of getting cancer.
Yeah, you know, that's such a great question. That's a 6.5 hour documentary I filmed on the sort of the metabolic state of ketosis, where I traveled. I met Dr. Thomas Seyfried in my interview. Sort of like the godfather of cancer, Dr. Dominic D'Agostino from the University of South Florida.
They've both been on the show. That's so cool.
There you go. All of these guys, I went through that entire, these guys are such beautiful people. They actually invited me to lecture at their last metabolic conference. They're just a whole bunch of incredible scientists that I spent the last 2 years interviewing. They were very pinnacle in assembling what's called Keto Pets, which was the groundbreaking sanctuary. That was my first TED Talk that I did, actually.
Wow, I'm going to watch it.
Which talks about Keto Pets, the groundbreaking sanctuary, where they were reversing the most stage 4, the most aggressive cancers you could possibly imagine, hemangiosarcoma, lymphoma, adenocarcinoma. They were reversing cancers. 80% of dogs that went into there, putting those dogs into a metabolic state of ketosis, and of course, coupled with a bunch of other non-toxic metabolic therapies, they were able to reverse these cancers. So yes, my dogs go in and out of ketosis. I had a dog who was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago and given a short prognosis to live. I was able to stop it and halt it, putting her in a state of ketosis.
Wow. Well, Shawn Wells, Rodney Habib, there's your introduction. I think you've got lots to talk about. Absolutely. Rodney, so great to have you on the show. I hope you'll come back sometime. It's been fascinating speaking with you today.
Thank you so much, as always, and hope to chat soon.
All right, everyone. Thank you again. Rodney Habib, you can find him at planetpause.ca. That's for Canada, planetpause.ca. You're listening to One Life Radio.
Note for note, don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble.
Wellbeing Journal is a remarkable bi-monthly health publication esteemed by intelligent readers worldwide. It's available in print or digital, single issues or subscription. Its focus is on living a happy, healthy life and preventing or healing illnesses naturally. Preventing or healing cancer, arthritis, cardiovascular conditions, and digestive issues, as well as nutritional solutions for optimal health, are regular subjects. Learn more at wellbeingjournal.com.
Hi, this is Vaughn Eaglin. As a licensed professional counselor and supervisor, I spend my career helping people cope with emotional problems. But today, I want to talk to you about nutrition. People ask me all the time for nutrition and weight loss advice, and I always find myself recommending a raw vegan protein, a food supplement called Warrior Blend by Sun Warrior. I wasn't always active and fit. In fact, I was very overweight as a child, and as a counselor, I must emphasize the importance of the mind-body connection. A clean body helps with a clean mind. Start today with Sun Warrior Blend Raw Vegan Protein. For more information, go to sunwarrior.com and start living clean today.
Hi, everyone. It's Bernadette. Everyone knows that I'm a strong believer in the numerous health benefits of cannabinoids and CBD oils. As with any supplement, I always do my research and my homework to find the highest quality product on the market. That's why I'm so happy to announce our partnership with the H Hemp Company, founded by a group of the most experienced and respected names in the CBD community. H Hemp offers a line of innovative products that are all natural and tested for quality. Choose from flavorful oils, restorative body balm, and minty breath spray, all at affordable prices. And for every H Hemp product sold, the company makes a donation towards the fight against opioid and anti-anxiety drug addiction, an epidemic affecting millions of families across the nation today. H Hemp products produce a sense of calm, fight post-workout inflammation, and the company gives back to our community. What more could we ask for? Search online for H Hemp Company and use the code OLR for 20% off your first order. That's OLR for 20% off your first order.
Hi, I'm Bob Barker. This is my friend Benny. Before you buy cosmetics, personal care, or household products,